our flight. Whiskey Roundtable. Oh, Greg, Karen, and the Whiskey Wizard talking facts and tastings. They've got you covered. Whiskey Roundtable.
Welcome to the Whiskey Roundtable. We are your hosts,
Big G.
Karen Helen Keller.
Doug Dunbar.
Rob Angelori sidecar.
Amen.
We had a whole lot going on before you. I mean, talk about coming in at the skin of our teeth on this one.
Well, welcome everyone.
Hey, it's been a long year this week. What are we gonna say?
A long year this week. Ain't even playing.
Boy.
Anyway, hey, so with the coronavirus going on,
Yeah.
The what?
the corona,
The coronavirus.
the Chinese
That
virus,
coronavirus.
the Wuhan
the
virus,
Kung Fu virus.
the Kung Flu.
The Kung Fu.
Bat soup.
Yeah.
The Kung Flu virus.
Okay, whoa,
the bat
this is
soup.
taking a bad turn.
Yeah.
Bad turn.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
we went and we did our shopping today, which we're not porters or anything, so we didn't do any of that. But, we got the essentials, like I got my chapstick and my deodorant, and Greg got all his hairspray. So we're good to go for a while.
Did you get?
All I know is I don't have the coronavirus, but my asshole does. Just so you all know. Okay.
Ralph, you got the coronavirus?
He does in his mouth. But anyway, we're all...
Yes, I do. Hold on a second here. This will kill it.
There you go.
Oh,
my
God.
God.
Oh, wow. That does taste pretty good.
One of the best, as we said, one of the best things to combat viruses in general is alcohol. So.
Amen. So I'm thinking to myself, this would be a good thing. We might be on lockdown next week. All the BS that I've heard, through the department and everything else. But I'm thinking to myself, it's good. We'll save a little money. Oh hell no!
What happened?
Between gasoline and all the stuff we bought at the grocery store and everything else, I'm like, this isn't any different than any other friggin' weekend. But I'm contained in my friggin' house.
But isn't gas cheaper now?
It is. It's like $1.98 a gallon.
Well, where are you going to go?
Give me a week of that shit. I might burn an eighth of a tank. You never know.
Make sure you wear gloves. Don't
I am,
touch that mail.
well,
Oh, my God, we got something from China today.
between gloves and anal leaves, I'm in, dude. I'm all ready.
I was just going to ask what he's spending the money on, but now I know.
I hear
Darn it,
bats
darn it.
are leaving the area, too. They're leaving.
That's all right here.
What do they think we're going to start eating them? That's just for China.
So
Yeah.
I got an email from Mark Anderson yesterday. He's like, "Hey, we're having a tailgater over. I won't even mention the location, but we're having a tailgater over at such and such. Hope you and Karen can make it." And I'm like, "Well, I don't know about Karen, but Big G can make it." That's
He's
no.
Karen who?
Who the hell is Karen? So he reaches out to me. I was like, gee, come in or whatever. And I had some stuff to do. Holy cow.
Storytelling. You know you can't multitask.
I know, right?
I don't even know why you're trying to play.
So apparently those guys are still there.
Tell your story.
So anyway, so I said to Mark, hey, Mark, I'm trying to get there. Got busy at the end of the day, blah, blah, blah. So he's like, hey, gives me 2 thumbs up. Like, you get there, you get there. So I get a breaking point in the office, and I'm like, okay, I'm the hell out of here. So I closed down. I had to go to Simply Greek and deliver some paperwork over to Pete and Nick. And I'm like, well, shit, I'm here now. Let me go to PR Cigar. So I went to PR Cigar, and Nick was the only one there. So I was like, okay, so Mark gave me specifics of this type of cigar he wanted. So I'm like, okay, Mark, whatever. So I call him, I text him, I say, hey, I'm on my way. He's like, I'm just running down Richmond Road, I'll be there in about 10 minutes. I'm like, okay. So long story short, I get there, there's like, I don't know, 15, 20 people there. And we're in the way back parking lot. And he's like, gee, I didn't know that, he goes, I appreciate you bringing me a cigar. And then Steve Creeks was there, one of the guys from the Cleveland Bourbon Co-op. He was there with his daughter. And we had a blast. We did have a blast. So these guys are drinking, they were buying growlers of beer, because you could buy and take out. So they
That's
had
what I'm talking about.
huge
right there.
friggin' growlers. And we're having a good time. And I'm like, so is beer the thing or what? They're like, well, nobody brought any bourbon. I'm like, well, I got some bourbon in the car. They're like, what you got? I said, I have Elijah Craig and Buffalo Trace. They're like, so everybody quits drinking beer. They moved from beer to bourbon. So,
Just like that.
Oh, just.
Oh, boy.
So one guy, he had his SUV there. He had garbage bags. He had all the essentials. So he was all ready for fighting. You could tell he had all the stuff. So
He had his game face on.
He had his game face on. So we pretty much blow through the bottle of Elijah Craig, and I'm like, you know what? I think I got a Buffalo Trace. So Mark's like, dude, what? He goes, who carries alcohol in their car? I said, listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I have like 7 cars. Every one of them has a lighter the same color as the car, and I stock bourbon in every one of them because you never know. Could be a long night.
Never
You don't-
Scotch.
No scotches,
Oh.
just bourbons. So anyway, I bring out the bottle of Buffalo Trace. I was like, finally, I'm like, I look at the clock. It's like, I reach out to you, or you reach out to me.
You called me.
And I said, all right, listen, I'm leaving here in a few minutes. Well, that was like 20 minutes later. And they're like, you going to make it home? I'm like, dude, I'm like 20 minutes away. I'll be fine. So I roll out. But apparently they're still there. So good time.
Yep.
It was a great time. Mark, Steve, thank you for the invite. Great time. I talked to Carl Betty for a minute, and he said to tell you hello and everybody,
Hey,
and
Carl.
thanks for the whiskey roundtable. And I told him, I said, well, when the weather gets a little bit better, Carl, you guys got to come back on the show. So he said, he was all in. So it was all good. It was all good. So that was my.
Sounds like a good time.
It was a good time. You guys missed a great time.
Well, I knew as soon as you walked in the door, I was like, oh, no. I look at Doug, I'm like, we're going to have to reel him in tonight, man. He's going to
We'll be
go
going on a
rogue.
few tangents.
I'll tell you what.
No. Any yet?
I had a great lunch, but that shit hit me like an illegal resisting arrest. I'm not.
Here we go.
I was like, damn!
The gloves
Holy
are off,
shit!
right?
So it was all good, but we had a great time. So I'm hoping he's doing one tomorrow. I don't know. He hasn't said nothing yet, but we'll find out. So you
it's-
was it the young kid that I want? Forget it. I'm not getting into that because I don't want to mention any names or where our place was. So forget all that. Apologize, but it was a good time. It was a lot of fun. So I hope he's doing another one soon. So it was good.
They're still camped out, huh?
They are still camped out.
Gotta love it.
Amen.
Okay, yeah.
Amen.
Well, we got probably a lot of our sponsors who are out of commission at the moment, right?
Sure.
With
So, well,
with all the virus rules.
So go ahead. You got to tell the
So,
story.
we're trying to give back to some of the small businesses now that all of this is going on. Friends of ours locally own restaurants. Simply Greek, who great Greek food. Brick House Burgers. They,
Auburn Inn.
if anyone knows the Auburn Inn, they have a little shop there on Washington and 306. Great burgers. We went there for burgers. We couldn't wait, but they had Reuben's because it was St. Patrick's Day, and Greg said it was the best corned beef sandwich he's ever had. Did you not?
I did say that. So it was so friggin' good that we had it for lunch, and then I said, we got to go back there and have this for dinner. So we did. So we went back. So we ate there like at 11:30, and Brick House Burgers. What do they sell? Burgers and chicken sandwiches, right? Salads. The place is fantastic. Their food is always good. The Auburn Inn is always good. I've never had a bad meal at either one of those places. And so I said, we got to go. We're going to go back there and have dinner.
Took sidecar.
And we did. We took sidecar. So then we did the same thing at Simply Creek.
Simply Greek. So Simply Greek has an offer going on right now. They're
Yes,
a great
they do.
place on Aurora Road. I guess you would say just west of 91, where great Greek food. They're in a little plaza right there next to the convenience store. They have a special going on right now. When you go in and order your food, while you're waiting, you get a free Corona beer.
Free Corona beer.
We went there for lunch on Thursday, and that was so good. We went back that night for dinner.
We did.
And we brought Sidecar, and you guys remember Albert. He met us up there for dinner. And we had our souvlakis and...
Some of us have to go to places to go to work, and I can't stay at home and goof off like other people's.
Hey, actually, I took the morning off that morning. I did. I really wasn't drinking on the job.
Well, I'll be
That
working at
evening,
home most of next week.
Maybe we
Depending
should come
on-
over to your house and we should have
Yeah.
a tailgate.
There we go.
What are you thinking?
Well, if the highways are still open,
Yeah.
Listen,
who knows?
it don't matter for the highway. It might take us 15 more minutes to get there, but at the end of the day, we can still party. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
And so I'm thinking to myself, is your
Self?
do you put cars in your garage?
Usually.
Oh, so if you take them out, we bring the eggs and bacon. We could spend the night, right? That's what I'm
There
saying.
we go.
Shauna, we good? See?
Oh yeah.
My
Oh, we have an
girlfriend-
audience. You're
My
not supposed to
girlfriend.
have an audience.
No,
there's
we talk
imaginary people
about
out there.
audience, so that's all good.
Well, there may not be, but anyway, we're here. We're here. So
Are we
what
talking
doing
about
this?
Irish whiskey or
It's
what?
Irish Whiskey Month on the Whiskey Roundtable. Maybe we get into it a little bit.
That's
right?
interesting. Look.
Oh, wait! Before you do
Oh,
that,
okay.
listen. I'll go
Okay.
inside.
Here we
Listen.
go.
I want to talk about Rayon cognac. XO.
Low Imports
Low
LLC.
www low imports LOWEIMPORTS LLC.com. Listen, so we did the show a couple weeks ago. This stuff is unbelievable. I have not had. I had somebody over here last night to try it, and even he, who's not a cognac guy, enjoyed it. So
I think like I said, I think anybody that loves good whiskey is gonna love that product. So.
I say and it doesn't drink like a cognac. It doesn't drink like a cognac. It is super. It should be on everybody's shelf. It should be on every cruise ship. It should be in every restaurant. I say it 100 times. Very good stuff. These guys are great guys. Their product is good. XO, it's 10 years or better aged. It's grapes from France. Good stuff. Very, very good stuff. That's something I could. That's something I could drink during the day. You know what I'm saying? And it's a 40 proof. It's not a heavy proof, but man, is it good? It's fantastic. So
Yeah.
these guys are going to come back and do a cameo probably sometime in May. So we're hoping that we pick up a little bit more business for those
Sounds
guys.
good, and we're going to be doing a Scotch single malt every month,
Yes,
right? I don't know
yes,
what.
Sir. Yes,
Do we
sir.
have one this month? We kind of got.
Well, we can.
We did have the cognac maybe this month, and we've had.
So we just picked up a Glenfiddich 15-year-old. Now there's Glenfiddich 15-year-old, but this is a new release. So I didn't do a lot of history on it, but that might be something we want to try. So
I'm not a fan of the 12, but I've had
this is 15.
I've had other
yeah.
ones that I thought were outstanding, so
So,
I learned my lesson there. I was
Okay.
pretty much not a Glenfiddich person, but
I've had so
Can't judge 'em all.
I'm not a. I know you're a huge Scotch guy. I don't know a lot about Scotches, but I think that I'm anxious to try it.
all right. So, what's next? What do we got? What's the?
I don't know. What are you smoking today, Greg?
I am smoking a Perdomo Sun-Grown. It's a medium body cigar. It probably runs about $10-12. Very good cigar. I was smoking a Remy Garcia earlier, which is also a great cigar. But that's what I got. That's what I'm smoking today.
So we have a couple of chats coming in. Patrick Patterson is saying, can we remind listeners to ignore the hysteria and enjoy ourselves with fine spirits?
Amen.
Yes.
Yes.
Please.
Yeah. No, we won't mention the word again.
Patrick, you're the smartest guy in the room right now.
He-
I'm not
he's-
gonna lie.
Even though you're not here.
Yeah.
you're
Shout
here.
out to all my high-low Brovern who may be watching. I know at least Pat is. So.
And Chris Snyder says,
Oh.
hello from Pennsylvania, where all the
Yes.
liquor stores statewide are closed.
Chris was a guest on one of our
Yes.
trial run shows, right?
Oh, that's
And-
right. That
so-
was fun.
and,
Hey, you're
uh,
not too far from the Ohio border. You can,
Yeah, I know. If he's still allowed to come into Ohio.
Smokey and the Bandit.
We can't go to
That's right.
Pennsylvania.
No
Apparently.
more toilet paper.
westbound and down, Chris.
Yeah. We're gonna do next time we do Scotch whiskey, and then we have to talk about the the
Well,
whiskey rebellion.
It's
So-
not often that I get a call from Pennsylvania. to say, can you find me this? Because everything is shut down.
Yeah.
Well, right now Chris is enjoying a nice Belvini 12-year Scottish
right, Chrissy.
single malt.
Balvenie, my favorite. My absolute favorite.
One of about 25 bottles he purchased just under the wire before they shut down the stores.
You got friggin'
You are
issues,
smart.
dude.
You know your priorities.
No, you got issues.
I like the self-made hammer hang you did that you told us about the other night, so that's good.
You got big issues, Chris.
Oh my gosh, yeah, he likes us. That makes him kind of crazy
I'll
right
tell you what.
there.
So when we were doing the test shows, right?
Yeah, he did our trial run
We
show.
did our
before
trial
we-
run show.
We came
Oh
on
my-
with our
Oh my god.
2.0
so fun.
reboot. So
He
That's
took-
when I forgot to hit record.
That's
That's why I got the mouse because I'm not too good with the.
I'm thinking that if we can pull the other shows in that we missed from September to current, if things do go crazy where we can't communicate solely, to do a radio show, I'm thinking about maybe posting some of those shows. So
yeah, there's options we might have to still do a live show. We'll have to see.
The pre-show with Chris, that would have been a great show.
That was a lot of fun.
Good going, Karen.
Hey, at least I did it on a practice run
Yeah,
and
right.
not, a real thing.
Most of my marriage disappointing.
I know. He said he's going to be in Ohio after he drinks the 25 bottles. So we'll see you, about half hour?
Wait, I thought it was 24 bottles.
Wait, no. Did it?
I thought
No, 25.
No, 24. A bottle was coming here, wasn't it?
Oh.
Yeah, Chris, get your head out of your ass.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the product. You guys are cool.
Okay, are we doing the product? Or is that
We're doing
what's
the
the
product.
whiskey
Sorry,
wizard? Because the whiskey wizard, we're going to talk about Irish whiskey.
All right, you want to do that first?
You want
But-
to do Whiskey Wizard? Do you
It's
want
up
me
to
to
you.
roll
You got
into?
control. Whatever.
All right,
whatever
let's
it is.
do the whiskey wizard.
Dangerous?
First.
Well, then let's just stick with the order.
No.
No,
I
let's
can
go.
be dangerous because I have the power. That's not.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do the whiskey wizard first.
All right, we're going to go to the
All
whiskey
right, we'll
wizard.
be back in a
everybody.
few minutes,
We'll
kids.
be right back, guys.
Hang on,
Thank you.
because you don't want to miss it.
Hang tight.
Hang tight.
Hello and welcome to the Whiskey Wizard, where we say that whiskey making takes scientific knowledge, an artisan's skill and dedication, and a bit of the wizard's alchemy of light, air, earth, and fire. Of course, it's Irish Whiskey Month here on the Whiskey Roundtable. So let's tarry forth, shall we? Irish whiskey is whiskey made on the island of Ireland, of course. And as we've discussed before, the word whiskey comes from Gaelic, meaning water of life. Irish whiskey was once the most popular spirit in the world, though it experienced a long period of decline from the late 19th century onwards, which greatly damaged the industry. In recent years, exports have been growing over 15% per year, and as of June 2019, Ireland had 25 distilleries in operation with a further 24 planned. Irish whiskey was once the earliest distilled of drinks in Europe. Arising around the 12th century, it is believed that Irish monks brought the technique of distilling back to Ireland from their travels to the Mediterranean around 1000 AD. The Irish then modified this technique to obtain a drinkable spirit. The whiskey produced in historical times would not have been aged and was often flavored with aromatic herbs such as mint, thyme, or anise. Apparently, the Irish Mist product is a whiskey liqueur that is said to be based on such a recipe. Irish whiskey has a smoother finish as opposed to the smoky, earthy overtones common to Scotch whiskey, in part due to its peating. Peat is rarely used in the malting process elsewhere, and certainly not in Ireland. Traditionally, Irish whiskey is produced in pot stills. Irish whiskeys made in a pot still fall into two rough categories. Whiskeys made entirely from malted barley distilled in a pot still within a single distillery are referred to as single malt whiskey, same as Scottish whiskey. Single pot still whiskey is made from a mixture of malted and unmalted barley, completely distilled in a pot still within a single distillery. This differs from single malt whiskey through the inclusion of raw unmalted grains in the mash. This style is referred to pure pot still whiskey or Irish pot still whiskey. Whiskey produced from continuous distillation in a column or a coffee still is rather than a pot still is referred to as grain whiskey. This may be produced from a variety of grains. Lighter and more neutral in taste, this spirit is rarely found on its own, though some examples do exist. The vast majority of grain whiskey is used to make blended whiskeys. Blended whiskeys are now the most common style of both Irish and Scotch whiskeys. Irish whiskey uses raw and unmalted barley. The barley is dried in kilns that are covered, perhaps keeping more of the barley's natural flavors in. While the virus responses may have hampered everyone's St. Patrick's Day plans, you can still enjoy a dram of good Irish whiskey, or even side it with a pint of Guinness, Smithwick's, or Harps. A light, complex Irish whiskey is another welcome form of this thing we love and call whiskey. Slàinte. This is Douglas Dunbar, the Whiskey Wizard for the Whiskey Roundtable. And now, back to the live.
Nice job with the Whiskey Wizard there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Irish whiskey, man. It's definitely in the big three, right? So I'm
Absolutely.
learning to appreciate it more and more. That Bushmill 16 that we did several, last year shows, that really opened my eyes that you got a lot of great Irish whiskey out there too.
So you spoke about was it the Hammerhead or something? What were you talking? Hammerhang. Listen,
Okay,
kids, I had a few drinks today. Give
Another
me a
shout
break.
out to Pat and Chris, any other brethren that are watching. So this is my high-low gang that we go on our trip every September. Guys that we used to all be together in California and are spread out. We do it's usually it's an outdoor trip over Labor Day week. So kind of a couple years back, it's probably about 10 years now. I just would take whatever was at the last inch of my bottle. What is that, Daddy? And, it's a special thing I'm making, and I just
Special thing.
yeah. One day, my friend Matt, Matt.
Man, who?
Yeah.
Man, if you're listening, I'm just teasing. I love you, brother.
And he didn't know what to call it. He knew I was doing it too. And one day he's there, and the girls brought it up, and he's like, "Oh yeah, how was your?" And I just, off the top of my head, said hammer hanging.
Oh shit.
Oh dear.
And so it became the hammer hang.
And it was
All right.
born
And
that day.
since on our wilderness trip, everybody brings a really great bottle of single malt to share,
Mhm.
and so they encouraged me to bring that as my thing for the year. So we had that. It's a great mixture of all these great single malts I'd had over the last year and a half.
So it's kind of like an infinity bottle?
yeah.
Okay, all right.
And then it became a tradition. So we rotate. Somebody gets the container, and then if it's their year, and all year long, they add everything they drink to it, bring that along to the trip. And also during the trip, every night when we sample everybody's whiskey, that little bit of that goes in there.
All right.
So, and then now we've been doing that for 10 years. So there's, I don't know, hundreds of whiskeys in there every year, including what everybody contributed. So
Awesome.
that's the hammer hang.
So it's all Scotch.
It's all single malt Scotch.
That's so do you?
This
do you,
gang is a pure single malt.
Do you still
group.
have the bottle?
Well, I don't have it this year.
Who's got it?
Who's got it?
Is it, guys?
Chris, do you have it?
Is it Pokey that has it this year? Who has it?
All right,
I know
listen.
Chris is out there making his own, but the
Chris,
official high-low one, I don't know.
Chris, listen. Don't make me find out where you live, all right? Because it ain't good. Because I'll send Sidecar over there to do my business like always. But I want to see that bottle. You understand? I know. I don't care if you have to crawl to Ohio. I just want to see that bottle. All right.
All right. Well,
I
anyway.
still love you though.
Yeah. So Irish whiskey, yeah. One of the Irish whiskey also is very similar to Scotch, right? Made in very similar ways with a pot still, all malt. The difference is not any of that peat character that you have with Scotch whiskey. So I think it's a nice change. Sometimes it's much lighter, but it still has a lot of complexity, and there's something about to me, a nice pot still whiskey that
Awesome.
it's hard to beat. So we've got something now that we're going to sample today's what's on our agenda?
Jameson Cold Brew.
Cold brew.
Jameson cold brew. So this
Miss
is a little
Karen?
bit off the beaten path for the kind
It
of
is,
thing
though.
we usually do, or kind of, you know,
It's coffee in a glass. It looks like.
it's
Yeah, it does.
Oh, sold on.
It looks
coffee.
like it looks like a Char Barrel 25.
Brew 25.
I don't. Karen, do you have anything to tell us, or are we?
Well, I can tell you,
Okay.
as far as who's got the hammer hang bottle, that would be Mickey.
Oh, I thought so. Okay,
Mm.
yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Mickey.
Also
I'm looking
known-
for you.
Yeah,
Someone's got to get this.
Mickey
thing
Hopkins.
straight.
He's
Where's
got
he at?
the.
Is he close?
Where's he live?
He's out in L.A. He's one of the L.A. guys.
He's real far away now.
There's
You're traveling.
3 guys still out in Southern California. One in
that'll stay.
Washington State, one up in Vancouver, BC, and of course, Chris is
B-Man could be
in
out there.
Erie, Pennsylvania.
I'm thinking we can make that trip.
B-Man
I
can
know.
get a
I'm
sample,
sure.
send it back.
All right, hey Mickey, could you give us your address, please? Just check.
I'll be sampling it this September. So.
I bet we will.
I will
We
do.
will.
In fact, I'll do a Whiskey Wizard on location review of the Hammer Hang. How's that for a
Oh.
show?
Sounds good.
Now,
Yeah.
do
So-
you keep a running list of everything that's in there?
Yeah, we have that. We have Anthony, the guy that lives in British Columbia, is the master of malt, so he's in charge of all that. Keeps a list of everything. We have a record of every bottle that everybody has had. We have to register our bottle that we want to bring to make sure we've not allowed any duplicates in 20. Well, this will be the 26th year of having single malt on the high lows.
Well, so me and Joe, we started a infinity bottle with the bourbon and the whiskey and scotch. We kind of put everything in there, and that bottle is just about full. And so that might be a good show. So if you do something location, so to say.
I'll do some on location bits for while I'm gone
for a regular
during
show.
that week. So
Yeah, so when you come back, maybe when you come back to do the regular show, then maybe we can do the infinity bottle as well. I think
okay.
it'd be kind of cool.
What's cool, Chris, and maybe you said this and I didn't pick up because I'm kind of watching the live chat here, but Chris says there's a trace of every whiskey from years ago still in that container.
Yeah, because of the way we do it. Like I said, we'll add a little bit every night when we drink to it. The guy who owned it put all his whiskey in throughout the course of the year, but every year when we are done, we always leave
At
like
least
this
an inch.
much in the container for the next guy to start. So we
Nice.
always leave that starter in there, if you will. So
That'd be cool.
we've got whiskeys, every single whiskey we've ever done
That's
since
a
we
scary
started. The Hammer Hang is technically in that bottle. So.
And Matt gave the name for the hammer.
And there's a little bit of wilderness beach sand and some other stuff in there too, but we just
Oh my.
it adds to the character.
No suntan lotion.
There might be some things in there we
Oh, my
can't mention,
goodness.
but it's all good.
Oh
So-
my gosh.
But yeah, so whiskey, Irish whiskey, Jameson with coffee. I'm not sure exactly what the.
I did no. I
How,
did no.
I did no research, but I can give you a
okay.
little
I
bit.
had pulled it up earlier, but it's.
I can give you a little bit of information about Jameson while you're looking for that,
Sure.
if you want to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm really excited though. I can't wait to dip into this because it mixes two of my favorite things: coffee and alcohol.
Yeah.
So
It's shocking.
I know, right?
So I don't, do you think they started this just so this is like an Irish coffee and all you have to do is add the whipped cream, or I don't know.
I don't know. We're gonna
Well-
find out.
So here's some things you probably don't know about Jameson, just in general.
Go ahead.
John Jameson, who is the namesake of this distillery, he's actually Scottish. He was born
Sacrilege.
Oh, figures.
in Alloa, Alloa, in 1740, and he became a lawyer. His wife, Margaret, whose brothers were actually in the Scottish whiskey business, had family who owned the Bow Street Distillery in Dublin. So that's, oh no, you didn't.
Almost.
So that's how he came over into Ireland. And Jameson and Sons didn't sell whiskey by the bottle until 1968. For 2 centuries, they sold it completely by the cask.
All right.
Interesting. So Jameson it has not been distilled in Dublin since the 70s. It's currently in Cork County.
Mm-hmm.
And 90% of Jameson production is exported. So today they make about 4.7 million cases, and they're exported around the world to 130 countries.
Yeah, so, wow. So cold brew is infused with cold brewed coffee, a triple distilled. They say just a perfect combination of smooth Irish whiskey and hints of toasted oak, dark chocolate, and rich coffee aroma. Made with Arabica beans from Brazil and Colombia with no added sugar. Best served chilled over ice or in a cocktail and among friends. Well, best served that way. Okay, well, we are going to have it as usual. Everything on the Whiskey Roundtable is in a Glencairn glass because that's the right way to really taste
Amen.
something. So
It's the only way we drink.
well, let's so why don't we? Should we get to it?
Well, yeah, let's get to it right now.
Okay, I got more facts.
Okay.
but-
Oh, good.
Wait,
Wait.
Sit down, sidecar. Why
Didn't
you
mean to
big
rush
hurry?
it. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I thought maybe I was boring y'all.
I'm
No.
I'm thirsty.
Wake me up when you're done.
Okay, so real quick, between 2005 and 2009, the world's biggest server of Jameson was a bar in Minnesota. It's called The Local, and it's an old world Irish pub in Minneapolis, and they sell about 20, or sold at the time, about 25 bottles a day.
Really? Never been there, and I've been to Minneapolis
know.
a bunch.
You got to put that on your
Balloon, I've
your
been to a bunch of
MapQuest or
times,
whatever
but-
you do now. Another interesting fact, which I thought I would
End
bring
of
in
April.
since, we got a couple of Dagos here at the table. Jameson was the grandfather of Marconi, the inventor
No
of
kid.
the radio.
No.
Get
Oh,
out
whoa.
of here, Willie Marconi.
Yeah. Which I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
So, and then what makes a whiskey an Irish whiskey? So there's a law that states that the spirit must spend at least 3 years maturing on the island of Ireland.
Okay, that's something I don't think I mentioned that on the Whiskey Wizard. So
No,
that's
you
good.
did not.
Yeah.
And the Angels share, I know they use it in some of their marketing for Jameson, but it's a real thing. It's the amount of whiskey that's lost during the aging process. And Jameson estimates about 2% of their whiskey is lost to evaporation every year. So after 200 years,
There's
it's
a lot of happy
to
angels.
share with the Angels.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah.
walk into any, whether it's Scotch whiskey or particularly bourbon because of the higher temperature, go into the Rick House, the aging house, and there's no question about what's going on as far as the Angels share.
We did
So-
that at Jack Daniels one time. We opened up one of their. Whew! And you could get wasted just off the smell.
Well, the Angels could have it as far as I'm concerned.
You know.
So we talked about the nose. Intense rich coffee, bean aromas combined with chocolate, caramel, vanilla, and vanilla nuttiness. Yeah, right.
Nuttiness.
Nuttiness.
Thank you very
of
much.
Jameson.
Of Jameson, complemented by nose. Easy now.
Nuts on the nose?
Nuts on the nose, kids. Nuts on the nose.
Can't
Hey,
beat that.
if you got nuts on the nose, you're on the wrong date. I'm just going to say that right now. But hey, didn't hear it here first, all right? You might want to change the way you live. But anyway.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Subtle hints of tobacco and roasted coffee notes. So taste. So this is what we're looking for. Rich yet refreshing and smooth. The taste is the perfect balance of roasted coffee beans. I've had way too much to drink today.
No.
Yeah, kind of. The perfect balance of roasted coffee, sweet vanilla, and spice from charred barrels and pot still spirit on the palate. So,
Right.
so let's. The finish is a smooth, mellow, and dry finish that lingers on the palate. So there we go, kids. So.
I think we're just going to prop you
Yeah.
up in front of the camera
Oh,
for
my
like the
goodness.
rest of the
All right.
show and just
All
let
right.
you talk to everybody. But
Ralph, grab that.
let's try this first.
Let's get some nuts on the
So
nose.
I'm not.
Let's get some nuts on the
Let's
nose.
get some. Let's do some nosing.
Some nosing.
That's noses,
Oh,
baby.
lots of coffee. right away.
No, but it's not what I was expecting.
Yeah, I get a lot
Now,
of coffee. out of it.
second sniff, I get the whiskey there.
Actually, yeah,
Uh,
that has a really, really good nose, I think.
What's the proof?
You know what? That's
So,
a great
uh,
question. I think it's 80. But
I was gonna say it's got to be around the 80 range.
I get on the nose. I get a lot of dark fruit and chocolate. I don't get it.
80.
I don't get as much
80
coffee as I was expecting.
No.
Are
It
you
looks
getting
great.
a lot of coffee? I don't get much
It looks
coffee.
really great. Look at
The
that.
first time I went in, I got a lot of coffee on the nose, but now it's more of the chocolate, dark fruit smell that I'm getting.
Ooh, legs on that thing.
You know, I get dark chocolate out of it. I get dark chocolate out of it. I get a little vanilla out of it. I get dark chocolate out of it. Obviously the coffee.
Now I have not had this before. Have any of you guys
No,
tried
I never
this
had it
before?
either.
We just happened upon this, I think.
Well, we aren't going to go overboard on the tasting notes because Pat's watching. That's one of his irritations.
All right. The hell with you,
Old
Pat?
Corvette, 66 Corvette leather.
66 Corvette.
I'm smelling Porsche Turbo. Is what I'm smelling.
All right.
No, all kidding aside, I do get the a little bit of the vanilla. I get the I get a dark chocolate. I don't.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Like
It's not a milk chocolate at all.
it's definitely like a dark chocolate with some
I get the
dark
coffee.
fruit. Dark fruit. That's what I get.
All right, kids. Oh, what did I just hit there?
No, I'm not getting a lot of coffee, but let's see how the taste goes.
Okay, I'm going in.
I'm going in.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
No, I get coffee there, but it's
that's
still
so-
not. It's
I-
still not.
Ooh.
Oh my God,
Ooh,
is that
okay.
good?
Get a touch of the same quality you get with drinking a Irish coffee, but it's
Yeah,
different.
that's like saying. It's like you
There's a little hint of Irish coffee feel, but it's definitely
not what I expected.
whiskey, and it's the coffee's understated. It's not overdone. So I don't know. That's pretty damn good, I think.
So this is I mean I get at first taste I get
Smooth.
I get coffee.
I do too.
I get the vanilla.
Yep.
I do get a little bit of nuttiness, but I can't pick the nuts, so to say. Easy, kids, easy. It's a family show.
No, it's not.
But I'll tell you what, the finish.
Get that 3-year-old out of there.
Oh my goodness!
Oh.
But the finish is straight coffee. It's straight cold coffee.
It'd be great on
It's
ice.
straight cold
Oh my
black
gosh.
coffee.
Yes.
It would be great on ice.
Boy, I like it as is, and I don't
I do
get.
too. I do too.
I get some. I would almost say to me, it's more like Irish stout than it is Irish coffee.
It's
But
a smooth creaminess
it
almost when
tastes
you
like
first
There's
try
a little
it.
bit like a Guinness to me on the finish.
Yes.
Why'd you have to bring that up?
Yes, Guinness is the perfect explanation for the
We didn't
finish.
even get any Guinness this week.
I had
We
one
didn't.
on St.
I
Patrick's Day evening when I got
I still have that cold dark coffee. I still have it.
Yeah.
Full body coffee.
Yeah.
I'm talking. I still have it.
Well, I'm pretty content with this. I would have to say I'm surprised.
Wow.
I kind of thought, well, this is a bit of a gimmicky product. We kind of laughed when we picked it. We said, well, just for fun. That looks like something fun to try. But I'm actually pretty impressed with this.
It's
I
pretty.
like it.
Good
I'm
job
a
there, Jameson.
I'm a
Amen.
coffee guy
I
too,
like
so
it.
I like it.
Yeah, this is good. Like after dinner, kind of
Two
just
thumbs
sit
up.
around and when you know I
Right.
know you guys especially like to drink your espresso
Right.
after dinner.
Well,
This
you know,
is like
Joe
a
hit
perfect
Joe
after
hit me
dinner.
up earlier about he was was wondering how this was going to taste today. So he reached out to me.
I
today.
would recommend that.
And I highly Joe pick it up. You
Yeah.
get it, pick it up. I don't think you'd be just. I know you like coffee. I know you like Jameson is where we started. So
and I think
Good
that
shit,
would
man.
be obviously if you're making an actual Irish coffee, that would be a great
perfect.
thing. to
It would
use.
be. It would be. It would be.
So-
You're exactly right.
So I know we picked this up a couple months ago.
About
it-
a month ago.
Is it still around?
It
Yeah,
is still around.
I was in the store. They have tons of it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They say limited release, but they sure are putting it out there.
Can't
so.
get toilet paper, but you can get.
You can't get shit paper, kids, but you can sit on this bottle all day long. I ain't lying to you.
No, you better not sit up.
Just bringing that up, tortillas.
Oh,
Just
When you're in a
case
bind?
We
when
don't.
you're-
We have no
if
toilet
you need
paper.
a bind,
Tortillas. I don't know if you want the jalapeno ones or the tomato, but
Well, it's better than
Just in
grabbing
case.
Bella and, you know.
amen.
a couple
Poor
squirrels
dog.
running around in different colors today.
Shut up. All right, Ralph obviously didn't like his. I'm gonna finish my stuff here.
Wow, this is dangerously good.
Yeah. What is? I don't like this stuff usually either, do I? Wow.
Yeah.
No.
You know what? I'll tell you what. This is. You guys are laughing at me, and I'm not being silly. This is the alternative to drinking coffee in the morning. I'm telling you right now.
It'd be a good
Gee,
starter.
where it come
It's-
from?
It's fantastic. Very, very good. I enjoy it.
Wow.
I don't know, especially with being able to work at home. I mean,
You know,
it's a good starter.
You guys will probably disagree with me, and I'm okay with that. But this is a after dinner drink.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
That's what I
After dinner
said.
drink.
I said you guys like to come down here, drink your espresso, watch car
Right.
shows. Now you can do that.
This is definitely an after dinner drink. When
Thanks.
I go to the bar and order it, no. If I had dinner and they asked me if you want something else, I would order that. I definitely would. It's an after dinner drink.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
All right. Well, I give it the thumbs up.
All
I
right.
gave 2 thumbs.
I
Yeah.
give
did
up
at
2
Christmas
thumbs
time.
and a
Two
big
thumbs. Wow.
and a big pinky toe. That's what I
Okay.
give.
Dope.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely 2
That's
thumbs
just like
up.
a
That
thumb,
was
so-
amazing.
Very
Okay.
good.
That's 3
All
thumbs.
right. Fantastic.
Okay, endorsed by the Whiskey Roundtable.
Endorsed
Wow,
by
is
the
that
Whiskey
good? We got to
Roundtable.
go find another bottle of that.
Yeah, that's surprisingly good.
No joke.
I will pick up one, that's for sure.
Well, we can.
So Naomi, if you're watching, I know you love Jameson, and you love coffee. You gotta try that. You and Kevin enjoy this.
Yeah, because they're big Jameson fans, especially Naomi. Awesome. What else we got, kids?
Little,
We got any
little
news?
news. A couple things. Keeping in the vein of Irish whiskey, Ireland's most expensive whiskey ever released pre-auction, but bottle of Middleton very rare silent distillery whiskey collection, Chapter 1, was featured in their live auction. Last time it went for 35,000 pounds a bottle.
Whoa.
But given its popularity and the limited release of only 44 bottles, this is expected to go for much more. So I'll be interested. I'll try to follow up for next week and see what it actually sold for. Dunville did really well at the Irish Whiskey, the World Whiskey Awards. Their 18-year-old Palo Cortado sherry cask finish whiskey.
How do you say that?
Palo Cortado, if you want.
Sounds good.
18 years old. That's right
Yeah.
up your alley, Ralph.
It Vice Irish single malt, aged 13, 20
There you go.
years. Their gold medal went to the Dunville PX12, 12-year-old single malt in the Irish single malt 12-year and under category, and so they did really well. They won three crowns at the awards. So, Writer's Tier expression has been released. Walsh Whiskey in Carlo. Writer's Tears Double Oak, released, finished in both American oak and French oak casks, and it's the third expression of the core portfolio of Walsh Whiskey. They did this in collaboration with Legoret family in Cognac, France. They secured the casks of Champagne brand oak to finish the whiskey in. So again, we talked about cognac, so we know all about that. French oak casks from a very particular region in France, and that's what they use for finishing the whiskey. And the Whiskey Advocate rated it as one of the top 10 global whiskey releases for 2019. So.
Well, we talk about Irish whiskeys. I was when I was vacationing back in June, we were able to sample a bunch of different Middleton products.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I don't know if I've had any before.
So fantastic. So
Yeah.
one of my goals this year is to, bucket list, if you will. I want to get into some of the more expensive casket bottles, if you will, and of the Middleton products. So, I'm hoping to find some of that this year. So,
Nice.
I think
I'll
that'd
be looking as well. India's Paul John distillery has debuted with Nirvana, intended to introduce new drinkers to Indian single malt. The whiskey retails for $30, and it will, sorry, not rupees, but dollars, and will be permanently available in several states. And Booker's latest batch is hitting the shelves. Granny's batch.
Mm-hmm.
Granny's
limited
what?
edition with a recommended price of $90.
Granny
There
sticky
you go.
fingers. I hear you.
So wait, can we go back to the India one?
Yeah.
What is that one going to be called? What is that called?
It's a single malt, so it's
Okay.
like a Scottish whiskey. I'm not
It's
sure
not.
if it's more like an Irish or a Scottish. It doesn't say. It just says trying to introduce folks to India single malt.
They have a
whiskey.
name brand yet or anything?
John Paul Distillery. Nirvana is the name of the
Nirvana,
is,
okay.
is the name of the release. So.
I'm really hesitant about it, but because I tried the Kavalan and I loved that.
We've had,
Yep.
we talked about that Israeli whiskey, and so some of the places you wouldn't really think of as being good places for the making of good whiskey or trying to get in the game. I don't know that they're really there yet, but they're making progress. They're trying to develop techniques that make up for the climate issues that are a challenge. If you have a very warm climate, it's challenging to make a good single malt whiskey, certainly. So
Awesome.
Sounds like the dogs are big time wrestling up there.
They sure do sound like that.
yeah.
So what else, kids?
So
Is that
that's
it?
about all I really have for this week. Yeah. So
All right. What else, kids? That's it.
I don't have anything else. I just
All right,
I
let's-
hope that we are back next week
Yep.
and there is no travel ban and we're able to get back together. I know we've got things planned already through the next few months, so I'm looking forward to continuing this great journey that we've been on so far. So
All right.
let's keep our fingers crossed, guys.
All right, kids.
just a couple fun facts, or one fun fact. Humphrey Bogart's last words were, "I should never have switched from Scotch to martinis." That was his true last words.
I heard that too.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
And Mark Twain said, "Too much of anything is bad, but too much of good whiskey is barely enough."
Amen.
So,
I'm sure he said that too.
yeah.
I hope my last words are something prophetic like that, but it'll probably be like, "Oops."
Yeah. Oh, Nana, I
Yeah.
fell down.
Abraham, I got one more. So Abraham Lincoln also said, "Tell me what brand of whiskey that Grant drinks. I would like to send a barrel of it to all of my other generals." So there you go.
All right, kids. Listen, we're going to wrap it up.
Oh, wow.
Appreciate you guys watching today. Mark, Steve, thank you very much.
Chris,
thank
Pat,
you. Pat,
all of you.
and
Great time tonight.
we'll see you cats soon. And you guys drink responsibly, and we'll have some fun.
And
We'll
Mickey, if you watch the tape show, then again take care of that hammer hang.
Amen.
That's right.
Get
Watch
your hammer
where the
hanging.
hammer's hanging.
All right, kids, we're going to wrap it up. We are your hosts, Big G.
Karen Helen Keller.
Doug Dunbar.
Ralph Angelo sidecar.
See you next week. Thank
Stay
you very
safe
much.
and
Thanks
be healthy.
everyone.
Amen. Bye-bye.
If whiskey stopped working, every bar in town would be closing their doors, shutting down. Everybody would be trapped with their thoughts, 'cause nothing numbs the pain like bourbon or scotch. Oh no, oh no, no. If whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably wasting lots of money trying therapy. If whiskey stopped working, what the hell would I do? Honestly, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't be over you. Whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, oh, whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped. be cut off. Hank Williams songs wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, this whole damn world would be a mess. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. If whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably wasting lots of money trying therapy. If whiskey stopped working, what the hell would I do? Honestly, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't be over you. Whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped, if whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably halfway out of this town, leaving Tennessee.